Some weird woman came to my door and tied this.
All right, I've got my tiny microphone. Let's answer people about what this is. Actually, first, before I say what this is, let's have a look at the comments. Because nowadays, everyone's an expert. I like this amount of misinformation. Called a witch's ladder. No, it isn't. I like Captain Obvious here. Witch talk here. It looks like old ribbon magic. Look out there, it's one of those old tree forests. Iris here, I was actually on board with. She says, witch here, fair enough. I don't know why she'd use her own hair to impact you or your household. I completely agree with you, Iris. However, then you recommend burning it. If you suspect that there has been some form of witchcraft, the last thing you want to do with an artifact is burn it, especially if you don't know what it does. See, with physical evidence of witchcraft, usually that which it is contains, like a battery. And the last thing you want to do with a battery is throw it on the fire. Fire is an unpredictable element. It is a trickster in its own nature. And it reduces things to its carbon state, releasing its essence. Think about Obi-Wan Kenobi, when he said, if you strike me down now, Darth, I shall become more powerful than you. And then he does, and he turns into nothing. That's exactly what you're doing. You don't want that. You want it something that you can contain, you can focus on, you can use to retaliate with. You don't want it just floating about, being given the freedom of air, do you? But I do agree. Why on earth would you use your own hair? Well, let's just look at this from what we know of it. Let's first look at where it was placed. It was placed on a door handle, in broad daylight. This is strange. In broad daylight as well. This says, I want you to see it. I want you to know what I'm doing. This is often a sense of baneful. However, it doesn't smack of maleficium to me, or baneful working. Why? One, why would you use your own hair? If you were to use your own hair to apply dominance over another's will, you would hide it under the porch, you would put it under a doormat, tie it beneath their car, in a hedge close to the house, somewhere like this. You wouldn't have it in full view so that the person had a piece of you that they can then work against you in some form of counter magic. Then, of course, is the ribbon. It's just ribbon. If I was to use a baneful working, I would use string, twine, or perhaps a flax from some kind of natural fibre, perhaps an irritant like bramble or something like this. I would use something that binds in this way. But this looks as though it is done out of desperation, put there in broad daylight, using their own hair, using ribbons that don't really apply to a baneful sense. If you ask me, this looks like a practitioner who has not really done baneful much before, feels that perhaps in the matter of the heart or a betrayal of some kind, to make them act so irrationally and so boldly as to use their own hair in broad daylight and put it on someone's door. Also in the video, if you go back and look at it, the individual says that their husband threw it in the bin, and within a minute later, the person knocked on the door and asked for it back. This not only shows some form of regret, but genuinely, they probably got the wrong house. You just wouldn't do that. It's unusual, it's strange. I think this person has been scorned, betrayed by someone, and then made this irrationally, just in the heat of the moment, stormed over there, hung it on someone's door, and then, for whatever reason, regretted it, and realised that they made a mistake and probably put it on the wrong house. And so there you have it. Sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but it's a witch that just made a mistake by the look of things.
Think that makes you go, You know, these aren't jokes, these are thoughts, these are things that make you say,